I'm going to say something that might feel uncomfortable at first. Some of the most emotionally intelligent, self aware, successful women I work with become completely destabilized by one specific type of relationship. Not toxic men, not narcissists, not even obviously bad partners, but the avoidant ones. The man who is warm, then distant, connected, then unavailable, interested, then unsure. And suddenly, this grounded, accomplished woman finds herself overthinking texts, checking her phone, replaying conversations, and wondering why she feels emotionally hijacked. If you've ever thought, I don't even recognize myself in this relationship, stay with me. Because what's happening here is not a lack of confidence, it's attachment chemistry colliding with modern dating culture. And it's creating one of the most addictive emotional patterns we're seeing right now. Let's talk honestly. Many anxious leaning women say they want a secure, emotionally available partner, and they do. But the men who create the strongest spark are often the ones who are slightly out of reach, harder to read, harder to fully access, harder to secure. Why? Because uncertainty creates activation, and activation can feel like chemistry. When someone is warm, attentive, and consistent from the beginning, an anxious nervous system often feels calm. But when someone is deeply engaging one day, slightly distant the next, emotionally open and then subtly withdrawn, the nervous system goes into pursuit mode, not because you love anxiety, but because your system is trying to stabilize connection. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many anxious avoidant relationships are not driven by compatibility. They're driven by mutual nervous system activation. The anxious partner feels most alive when trying to secure connection. The avoidant partner feels most comfortable when there's enough distance to avoid emotional engulfment. So the relationship stabilizes at the exact point where neither person feels fully secure. The anxious person is slightly undernourished, and the avoidant person is slightly pressured. And that tension creates the emotional intensity that both people interpret as chemistry. Now, let's go deeper. Anxious attachment isn't just fear of abandonment, it's hypersensitivity to emotional inconsistency, not rejection, inconsistency. When warmth and distance alternate unpredictably, your brain goes into attachment vigilance. You start monitoring tone changes, response times, energy shifts, future uncertainty. And here's something that's important. Avoidant partners are often not consciously trying to create this cycle. They are trying to regulate themselves. So when closeness intensifies, their nervous system seeks space to stabilize. But the anxious nervous system feels that space like a threat. So one person moves closer to feel safe, the other moves away to feel safe. And the relationship becomes a nervous system negotiation rather than a conscious partnership. Now, here's where it becomes addictive. When an avoidant partner pulls away, the anxious nervous system reads it as danger. Stress hormones rise. Your mind starts looping. Something is wrong. I'm losing them. What did I do? Then, when they reconnect, when they call or they text or soften again, relief floods your body. Dopamine, oxytocin, regulation. That exhale, that, okay, we're okay again. And over time, your body begins associating this person with both distress and relief. And that combination creates extremely strong bonding, stronger often than consistent, secure love. You're not addicted to the person, you're addicted to the relief. That moment when the anxiety finally settles, that's what you're addicted to. Now let's layer in modern dating. 30 years ago, relationships formed inside community. They were clearer social structures. Today, connection often lives in text threads, inconsistent scheduling, ambiguous commitment. Someone can feel deeply connected to you on Saturday night and emotionally disappear into their life by Monday morning, not maliciously, just independently. But to an anxious nervous system, that ambiguity is gasoline on a fire. So, what many people interpret as I'm too sensitive is actually a nervous system trying to regulate inside an inherently dysregulated dating culture. And here's something else we don't talk enough about. This pattern often intensifies for high achieving women, women who are competent, decisive, powerful in their careers, because attachment dynamics bypass logic. You cannot outthink a triggered attachment system. You can run a company, you can lead a team, you can raise a family, and still feel emotionally unraveled by inconsistency in love. Not because you're weak, but because attachment lives in the body. Secure love feels different. It feels calm, consistent, emotionally safe. You know where you stand. You're not scanning for subtle shifts. You're not decoding text timing. You're not bracing for emotional withdrawal. And here's the twist. For someone used to intensity, secure love can initially feel unfamiliar, even boring, because chaos feels like chemistry when your nervous system is used to unpredictability. Healing isn't about becoming less sensitive. It's about recognizing when attraction is being driven by nervous system activation rather than emotional safety. When you understand the pattern, you stop personalizing every shift. You stop thinking, I'm too much. You stop thinking, I'm not enough. You start seeing that this is a dynamic. And once you can see it, you can interrupt it. You can begin choosing partners who feel steady instead of compelling, grounded instead of destabilizing, present instead of periodically available. And that's when relationships start to feel peaceful instead of addictive. I want to ask you something, honestly. Have you ever been in a relationship where the connection felt powerful, but your nervous system never fully relaxed? Were you drawn deeply to someone who couldn't consistently meet you? If that's you, you're not alone. This dynamic is incredibly common, and understanding it is the first step towards changing it. If you're working towards secure attachment and emotionally safe love, subscribe to this channel today. This channel is about understanding the psychology behind modern relationships so you can stop repeating patterns that feel intense but unstable. You deserve a love that feels calm in your body and not confusing in your minds.